Hello, very beautiful warrior soul friends. Welcome back to another Conversations with Kristin. That fun-filled part of your day where you explore human consciousness from the inside out. So you might notice my energy is a little bit different today than in some of my other videos, and that is directly related with the brain wave state I am experiencing. The manner in which my brain waves are regulating affects the energy I experience within my neurophysiological applications of consciousness. It's one of the many things that I've learned along my really magical healing journey through life. So today I want to talk about trauma recovery. And this can apply to any kind of healing journey where there's any type of memory being transformed. It wouldn't even necessarily need to be related to a really big capital T trauma. Any kind of painful experience at any point in life can be related to in this topic. So a big thing with this mental health healing journey is to integrate concepts. And what that really means is to build bridges of neural networks so that pieces of information in our brain have connection with one another. Integration doesn't mean getting rid of anything, it means bringing more of what is together so that there's opportunities for communication and collaboration within the various aspects of our brain region. It has to do with neuroscience. It has to do with neuroscience more than it has to do with consciousness. And so, trauma recovery, typically, a lot of it is focused on healing the memories. But there's a couple things that get lost in this process. So I just want to kind of touch on them and put out some information that might benefit healing journeys like it would have benefited mine back in the day. So first of all, nothing can be integrated without regulation first. Integration is only possible when there's regulation. This is a really good, just overall rule of thumb. Integration of anything, of any kind of piece of information, integration is only possible with regulation. And so if there's chronic nervous system dysregulation or chronic brainwave dysregulation or both of those types of dysregulation chronically happening again and again, it's consistently arising, then integration should not be a focus at all. And again, I'm not talking about integration of parts. I'm talking about integration of memories, integration of neural networks, where this memory over here knows about this memory over here, and this piece of data within the neural networks of the brain knows about this piece of data within the neural networks of the brain. I'm talking about integrating neural networks in the brain. I'm not talking about integrating parts of consciousness. So integration of any kind should only happen or even be addressed or considered or pondered or talked about or explored when there's complete consistent regulation. And so if there's any kind of dysregulation, that needs to be addressed first. Attempting to integrate memories when there's dysregulation will always, 100% of the time, cause re-traumatization, because there's no integration possible. So instead you're just reliving these different disconnected pieces of memory systems and reactivating the pains that are associated with them. And no one wants to be in that position. It's not pleasant, and it does not serve the healing journey at all. It never serves the healing journey to relive trauma. Trauma can only be processed when it can be observed from a present-day regulated position as a past piece of experience that is no longer occurring. And that's only possible when there's complete regulation. So learning to be present in the here and now is more important for trauma recovery than processing traumatic memories. I'm going to say that again because it's a really big deal. It's a really big deal. Being present, learning to be fully and completely right here, right now, is much more important in trauma recovery than processing any of the traumatic memories. Learning how to be here and not there matters more for trauma recovery than transforming what was over there. Okay? So learning to be present is a really big deal. Rewiring the nervous system so that it knows how to experience regulation is a big deal. And the tricky part about this is that only you can really tell if you're present. If you're working with a therapist or someone externally, they're not necessarily going to be able to notice if you're experiencing dysregulation. There's tools and resources therapists can use to evaluate this, but a lot of them don't know about it, or aren't able to completely observe because, whatever's going on. So it's really important to be mindfully present with ourselves and learn how to tell if we're regulated and if we're present, and learn how to recognize the clues of consciousness and interpret what they mean. It really matters. And then the other part about trauma recovery is that it's really important to know that trauma memories are implicit body memories. They're the deepest level and layer of unconscious types of memories within our body and brain. And so talking about them doesn't actually process them. Talking about the trauma memories does not process them because they're not those kinds of memories. Talking about things does not connect the brain regions that are housing the information that actually needs to be processed. And so that's why things like journaling and art therapy and meditation and in some cases certain types of EMDR, like the type that uses brain spotting, sometimes that can be helpful too. But even just creating space for journaling or art therapy or regular meditations can actually create a lot of space to create true healing in these realms, because they connect more with those brain regions. Whoa, big old bee. They connect more with the brain regions that house this information. And so having some kind of body-focused therapy or a type of recovery journey that touches on these aspects of the brain region where it's stored is really important. And that's a lot of the work that I do, and the products that I create and the services I offer is we go beyond just the talking of the explicits, and we really explore the implicits, which is where pain is stored, which is where these memories are stored. And this also goes for any kind of disrupted attachment development, whether it's related with, severe capital T trauma or not. Those kinds of memories are also housed in the same place. And so transforming any type of personality disorder or any type of disrupted attachment development or attachment disorder, and I say that with quotations because there's nothing disordered about you, and that terminology just doesn't seem like a very accurate description from my perspective. But there's stuff that's happening in the brain that is inviting healing transformation, and healing is not about changing who we are, it's about becoming more of who we truly are. And you are not defined by your experiences, and there's always hope to transform the way that you experience life, because your brain is being rewired every single day, and your consciousness is already a magical, miraculous place to experience. It just doesn't know that yet because it's intimately connected with the neurophysiology. But when you can separate consciousness and neurophysiology, then you can thrive in your consciousness, transform your neurophysiology, and heal and empower both realms of experience within your being. And so trauma recovery, the primary focus is in the beginning, and the beginning might be a month, it might be a year, it might be 5 years. But before memories can be touched or should even be looked at, learning to be fully present and fully regulated is the most important part. And then when it does come time to maybe address some of the memories and some of the experiences, it's important to keep in mind the type of memory that trauma memories are, and how they cannot be touched just through the explicit talking of explicit events. And that's why I work very specifically with the implicits. The explicit doesn't really matter in my book because it's a very small part of what we experience in our consciousness and neurophysiology. The implicits have more to do with our wiring, with our consciousness, with our perspective of ourselves, our experience of ourselves, the way we process information, the way we respond to things, the way we react, the way that our thoughts form, the way that our feelings form. It all has to do with the implicits. That's why I work very specifically with the implicits of consciousness and the implicits of neurophysiology. And I focus on that in all of my healing journey services and products that I offer through my Consciousness Consultancy. So working with the implicits, finding a way to work with the implicits is number one priority once regulation and being fully present has been kind of conquered and established within the natural unfoldings of the healing journey of life. So yeah, this is really important, really powerful stuff, really important to know and to keep in mind. And if you're ever looking for healing journey guidance or assistance, I'd be honored to get together with you through a consciousness consulting call and offer my healing journey services so that you have all of the self-understanding, insight, awareness, tools, love, compassion, empowerment, clarity, all of the things that you need to really harness your magical, miraculous healing journey in new depths, so that you can experience the transformation you seek, because you deserve to live in a consciousness that feels good to experience. You're already worthy, you're already enough, and I would be honored to help guide you through that process so that you can claim the enoughness that you already are, so that you can transform your consciousness into a home of love that feels good to experience every single day of your life. You deserve that. And I also offer healing journey products as well, including Restoring Consciousness Toolkit and guided meditations, and coming soon, Healing and Happiness PLAYbook. They are all very powerful, very, very powerful. Any one of them has the power and potential to single-handedly transform your healing journey of life. So explore my links below for more information, or you can always email me to ask about more of them or to order your copy at artistryofexistence@gmail.com. I would be honored to connect with you. I hope you have a beautiful and blessed day, and please keep going. Keep investing in your healing journey. Keep fighting for the rainbows that you desire. Keep fighting for the infinite moments of happily ever after that you are innately worthy of. You have what it takes to succeed. You have more power than you know. And the best is yet to come, so don't you ever give up on yourself. I believe in you. Thank you for being here. I'll see you next time, soul friends. Namaste.